Hello students, I hope you are doing well. We are discussing chapter number 4 of your book, and so far in 2 previous sessions we have seen 2 instances of the expression of social divisions in the area of politics. One division was on the basis of gender, and we saw that the relationship between the two is largely positive. The second instant was expression of social divisions on the basis of religion in the arena of politics, and the outcome is largely negative. Let us now turn to our final case, that is of caste and politics, which has both positive and negative aspects. Unlike gender and religion divisions, which are found all across the world in some degree or the other, caste division is special to India. All societies have some kind of social inequality and some form of division of labor. In most societies, occupations are passed on from one generation to another. Caste system is an extreme form of this. What makes it different from other societies is that in this system, hereditary occupational division was sanctioned by rituals. Members of the same caste group were supposed to form a social community that practiced the same or similar occupations, married within the same caste group, and did not eat with the members from other caste groups. The system has led to the upper caste being privileged over the lower castes, which were often repressed by those higher up on the caste scale. For centuries, intercaste marriages was forbidden, and in villages, castes mostly lived separately and did not share amenities such as wells. Caste system was based on exclusion of and discrimination against the outcast groups. They were subjected to the inhuman practice of untouchability, about which you have already studied in class 9th. That is why political leaders and social reformers like Jyotiba Phule, Gandhiji, B.R. Ambedkar and Periyar Ramaswamy Naikar advocated and worked to establish a society in which caste inequalities are absent. The principle of non-discrimination extends to social life as well. The Constitution mentions one extreme form of social discrimination, the practice of untouchability, and clearly directs the government to put an end to it. The practice of untouchability has been forbidden in any form. Untouchability here does not only mean refusal to touch people belonging to certain castes. It also refers to any belief or social practice which looks down upon people on account of their birth with certain caste labels. Such practice denies them interaction with others or access to public places as equal citizen. So, the Constitution made untouchability a punishable offence. Partly due to their efforts and partly due to other social economic changes, castes and caste system in modern India has undergone great changes. With economic development, large scale urbanization means shift of population from rural areas to urban areas, growth of literacy and education, occupational mobility, which means shift from one occupation to another, usually when a new generation takes up occupations other than those practiced by their ancestors, and the weakening of the position of landlords in the villages. The old notions of caste hierarchy are breaking down. This caste hierarchy is a ladder-like formation in which all the castes groups are placed from the highest to the lowest castes. Now, most of the times in urban areas, it does not matter much who is walking along next to us on a street or eating at the same table in a restaurant. The Constitution of India prohibited any caste-based discriminations and laid the foundations of the policies to reverse the injustices of the caste system. The country introduced laws to make discrimination against lower castes illegal and to improve the socio-economic positions. Reservations were introduced for college admissions and jobs. The provision for the appointment of a minister in charge for looking after the welfare of the scheduled castes, scheduled tribes and other backward classes in the states of Bihar, Madhya Pradesh and Orissa is another measure of bringing changes in society. If a person who lived a century ago were to return to India, she would be greatly surprised at the change that has come about in the country. Yet, caste has not disappeared from contemporary India. Some of the older aspects of the castes have persisted. Even now, most people marry within their own caste or tribe. Untouchability has not ended completely, despite constitutional prohibition. Effects of centuries of advantages and disadvantages continue to be felt today. The caste groups that had access to education under the old system have done very well in acquiring modern education as well. Those groups that did not have access to education or were prohibited from acquiring it have naturally lagged behind. Lower caste communities are often plagued by low literacy levels and a lack of access to healthcare and education. A lack of formal education or training, as well as discrimination that effectively bars them from many forms of employment. That is why there is a disproportionately large presence of upper caste among the urban middle class in our country. Caste continues to be closely linked to economic status. This you will be able to see here in the slide. The main reasons for this are lack of integrated programs, weak implementation and sustainability, failure to mainstream backward communities and repressed people into the national development process, center-oriented based programs rather than community-based participatory programs, little attention to human resource development, and lack of encouragement to the development and modernization of traditional occupations and skills, lack of effective institutional mechanisms, etc. As we saw in the case of communalism, casteism is rooted in the belief that caste is the sole basis of social community. According to this way of thinking, people belonging to the same caste belong to a natural social community and have the same interest which they do not share with anyone from another caste. As we saw in the case of communalism, such a belief is not borne out by our experience. Caste is one aspect of our experience, but it is not the only relevant or the most important aspect. Now that we see caste and politics are closely related, we can see many forms of this relationship. Caste can take various forms in politics. In the first form, when parties choose candidates in elections, they keep in mind the caste composition of the electorate and nominate candidates from different castes so as to muster necessary support to win elections. When governments are formed, political parties usually take care that representatives of different castes and tribes find a place in it. For example, in electoral constituencies dominated by Jats, a Jat candidate is deployed. Even the so-called secularist parties like Congress, Janata Dal, CPI and CPM take into consideration caste factor in selecting their candidates. If you look at the data given on the slide, you will be able to see how political parties divide party tickets along caste line. In the election campaigns, votes are demanded with the name of caste. Caste teams are broached for committed support. The second form of caste in politics is when political parties and candidates in elections make appeal to caste sentiment to muster support. Some political parties are known to favor some castes and are even seen as their representatives, such as BSP. The ideology of Bahujan Samaj Party is social transformation and economic emancipation of the Bahujan Samaj, which comprises of the scheduled castes, the scheduled tribes, the other backward classes and the religious minorities such as Sikhs, Muslims, Christians, Parsis and Buddhists, and account for over 85% of the country's total population. The DMK and AIADMK in the south are non-Brahmin rather than anti-Brahmin political parties of the province. In Punjab, Akali Dal features a community Panthi identity. The third form takes shape due to universal adult franchise and the principle of one person, one vote, which has compelled political leaders to gear up to task of the mobilizing and securing political support from all sections of the society. It also brought new consciousness among the people of castes that were hitherto treated as inferior and low. A significant transformation that has become evident over the years is the representation of backward sections in the parliament. The composition of the members of parliament has changed to include individuals from those communities who became the voice of the oppressed. The discussion and focus on caste in politics so far can give you an impression that elections are all about caste and nothing else. But that is far from true. Caste is not the only consideration. So why do we say that? So just consider these examples. First, no parliamentary constituency in the country has a clear majority of one single caste. So every candidate and party needs to win the confidence of more than one caste and community to win elections. Second example, no party wins the votes of all the voters of a particular caste or a community. When people say that caste is a vote bank of one party, it usually means that a large proportion of the voters from that caste vote for that party. Third example, many political parties may put up candidates from the same caste if that caste is believed to dominate the electorate in a particular constituency. Some voters have more than one candidate from their caste, while many voters have no candidate from their caste. Fourth example, the ruling party and the sitting MP or MLA frequently lose elections in our country. That could not have happened if all castes and communities were frozen in their political preferences and voters voted on caste consideration only. So, clearly, while caste matters in electoral politics, so do many other factors. The voters have strong attachment to political parties, which is often stronger than their attachment to their caste or community. People within the same caste or community have different interests depending on their economic condition. Rich and poor or men and women from the same caste often vote very differently. People's assessment of the performance of the government and the popularity rating of the leaders matter and are often decisive in elections. If you look at the chart here, you will see that caste is a very small factor for people when it comes to voting. Support for a particular party or the qualifications of the candidates are more important factors while voting. We have so far looked at what caste does to politics. But it does not mean that there is only one-way relation between caste and politics. Politics too influences the caste system and caste identities by bringing them into political arena. Thus, it is not politics that gets caste ridden. It is the caste that gets politicized. This takes several forms. In the first instance, each caste group tries to become bigger by incorporating within it neighboring castes or subcastes which were earlier excluded from it. In the second instance, various caste groups are required to enter into coalition with other castes or communities and thus enter into a dialogue and negotiation. The most recent instance can be seen in social engineering done by Mayawati, who tried to bring even the Brahmins and Kshatriyas under the same umbrella. The third incident is new kind of caste groups have come up in the political arena, like backward and forward castes groups. Forward caste is a term used to denote castes whose members on an average are ahead of other Indians economically and socially. Forward castes account for about 18.8% of the population, the number varying by region. Forward caste is an umbrella term in India. It is used to denote all the non-backward communities in India and is different from upper caste. While upper caste is used exclusively in the context of Hindus, forward castes have non-backward castes of all religious communities and ethnicities. In some situations, expression of caste differences in politics gives many disadvantaged communities the space to demand their share of power. In this sense, caste politics has helped people from Dalits and OBC castes to gain better access to decision making. Several political and non-political organizations have been demanding and agitating for an end to discrimination against particular castes for more dignity and more access to land, resources and opportunities. At the same time, exclusive attention to caste can produce negative results as well. Politics based on caste identity alone is not very healthy in a democracy. It can divert attention from other pressing issues like poverty, development and corruption. In some cases, caste division leads to tensions, conflict and even violence. With this, we come to the end of our chapter. Today, we learnt about relationship between caste and politics in India. We saw that caste plays different kinds of roles in politics and that it has both negative and positive effect. In many instances, this relationship can give voice to many disadvantaged communities. At the same time, this relationship can bring negative results too, if politics based on caste identity alone is considered. Previously in this chapter, we have discussed about role of politics in case of gender division and divisions on the basis of religion. And we had seen that the first incident had brought positive results and the second one got negative. Overall, we can say that democracy helps in providing a platform for discussion on all kinds of differences and divisions present in society. And it can lead to strengthening of the country if the differences are accommodated and we have a positive attitude towards differences. I hope you enjoyed today's session. Now let us end the chapter with last assignment. First question, how does casteism affect politics? Second question, describe the influence of politics on caste system. Third question, explain the major factors responsible for the rigid caste system weakening in India. Fourth question, what forms can caste take in politics? Fifth question, do the caste and vote bank factors completely control the elections in India? Explain with suitable arguments. With this, we have ended the chapter. I hope you will be able to solve the assignment and you enjoyed the discussion done today. Thank you.